Welcome to Sharpening Supplies, and John has some new knives for us to play with today. So John, what have you got?
Well, I'll show you. It's kind of a little different look for us.
Okay. Are we?
There's actually two.
Excellent. Are we like heading off into the jungle?
So this is Almazan Kitchen. It's a Serbian chef knife.
Why these?
You know, they just look really interesting, and I'm curious to try it and see if I like cooking with it. And I'm kind of curious how sharp they are.
And so you've got two, just one for each hand?
That would be one idea.
Okay.
But no, actually, this one is high carbon steel, and then this one is stainless steel.
So just a general purpose kitchen knife?
We'll see. We'll see. You know, I got it with the sheath. I think that was kind of important. This will not fit in my knife block, so just leaving this on my kitchen counter, pretty dangerous.
High carbon, and then we've got a stainless steel one,
yep.
And they come with some nice little bits of literature that tell you a little bit about the knife and how to use it. And there's one bit in there that surprised me where they were saying that the carbon steel knife is easier to sharpen than the stainless one. Now, personally, I would have thought that would be the other way around. Let us know in the comments what you think, if high carbon is easier to sharpen than stainless, but you had some thoughts on that.
I mean, I think high carbon generally wants to sharpen a little quicker. Stainless can be kind of gummy, or just doesn't take an edge quite as quickly.
You gave them to me this morning to test, and so I've used them on the edge on up to get a read of how sharp these edges are out of the box before we use them. And so I want you, John, to make a couple of guesses. What do you think, like the average score for the high carbon steel one, and then the average score for the stainless?
Put me on the spot.
Yep, absolutely. And if you want to jump ahead into the comments and let us know what kind of score in grams, what you think each knife scored. John's doing the old calibrated finger test at the moment.
Yeah, it's sharp. That's all. Let's see, that one's sharp, and then this one's not as sharp. So I'm going to say this one is 180, and I'm going to go with 270.
Okay, so the carbon score got an average of 353 grams.
Oh.
It was let down by the tip. It got 283 on the heel, 260 on the middle, but then 516 on the tip. So the tip was a little blunt.
Oh.
And then the stainless got an average of 398. So not a great score. The heel was 483, the middle was 453, and then the tip was sharper on this one. It was 259 on the tip.
Okay.
So typically, if you've got a score between like 250 and 350, that's an all right out of the box score. Below 200 is really nice and sharp. Anything above 400, it needs to sharpen. So this one coming in at an average of 398, we'd probably want to sharpen this before we put it to good use. These are quite big and heavy knives. They look like they have kind of like a bit of a convex grind to them. How would you go about sharpening one of these?
For me, I would start with what wouldn't I do?
Okay, yeah, what wouldn't you do, John?
It's a pretty thick blade, and it's a very tall blade. A lot of like electric sharpeners just won't work.
Okay.
I mean, it's too thick. Kitchen knife electric sharpeners won't work. But an electric sharpener that was meant for outdoor knives, I think this would be appropriate. Work Sharp Canned Onion comes to mind if I was going electric. But sharpening stones would be very easy, to be honest. I mean, I think this big flat knife just gives me a lot of room to work. So a water stone, I think, would be really excellent choice. Diamond stone. This one's really meant for being used out in the field. So something, even a ceramic stone, wouldn't need water or anything like that. Would be another good choice. But as you know me, I always prefer to strop an edge at the end. So I would definitely use a strop. And these might do quite well with just a stropping. So
Yep. And then because we've got two different steels, is there anything different you would do for the stainless compared to the carbon?
no,
No.
I don't think so.
No.
The differences, if you're talking about the differences in high carbon versus stainless, the same rules apply. It might take a little longer on the stainless.
Yeah.
So that's all I would do differently. It may react differently, but I wouldn't necessarily use anything different.
Yeah. And would you try and keep that convex on there, or would you put like a flat bevel on?
I mean, something like, let's say, the canned onion will naturally put that convex edge on. I would keep it. With a stone, I might try to, just because in this case, it'd just be a little easier to do.
So I think then moving forward, I'm guessing you'd probably just strop this one because it's doing all right at the moment,
Yep.
but then we might want to do some deeper sharpening on the stainless one. So if there's a method you'd like to see us use to sharpen these, let us know in the comments. If there are any other knives that you would like us to get to test the sharpness of and discuss what kind of sharpening they've had fresh out the box, put that in the comments as well. And please follow us if you want to see more sharpening tips, tricks, and more.